Hello everyone. Welcome to Timespinner, episode 16. The episode where we get chased around by weird, slimy radagoons. Hey, Radagoon, why are you trying to slime me with your weird, slimy presence? Map downloaded, Amadeus's laboratory, so now we can see how freaking huge this place is. And make us feel utterly incompetent by the Zynosis of the Rhinot Egricidemion. Oh no, not the turret. So yeah, today is Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is exciting. Christmas Eve is fun. I'm back in New York, which means I get to, I don't know, wander around New York, see the Hudson River, see my favorite coffee shops. I don't know, just generally be a guy who eats rabbits for lunch, breakfast, and Linitar. That's like the meal in between lunch and dinner. It's Linitar. Don't question it. My God, it's been such a long time since I watched Big Tip on a Bus, but I'm just like copying all his mannerisms. Hold on, I have to turn my phone into airplane mode. It aids Lakium for now, but continued reliance on them will not do. Lakium is built on order. So basically they're talking about how Lakium works with demons, and how basically demons are the reason that we can double jump, which I think is really funny. It's like we got the hairpin from a succubus, and it's the hairpin that allows us to double jump. We also, is it the hairpin? Yeah. We also got, like, the swimming ability from a siren, which makes more sense. And we will get a special ability from this place, but it is not, I don't know. It isn't like a crazy weird ability. It's a slightly weird ability. You'll see what I mean. It's not one that you would associate with, like, futuristic technology, but then if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. I don't know. It's just slightly surprising, that's all. And it is one of my favorite moves in the game for the simple reason that it looks funny, and that's why it's my favorite. Oh my God, this guy is a guy. And he wasn't that threatening, because he died with one fire blast. The Teleria attachment. It harnesses... Oh, I pressed the wrong button. It harnesses telekinesis. So basically, this is the wee ability. It lets you go wee. Oh God, not me thinking of that stupid Senior Pello Mandela magazine parody video. It's like, hey Mark, I need you to go to my house, Mark. Oh, thanks a lot. Eee! What's that sound? Oh, what sound are you talking about? I don't hear. Eee! Anyway. Man. Remember the Mandela catalog? It has now exploded into a whole thing. Mandela catalog, I kept seeing it blow up, but I guess I didn't realize how recent it was, because it feels like something that could have been made a few years ago, but I guess that's like the prime example of the Mandela effect, where you're like, oh, I've seen that before, but you actually haven't seen it before because it's new. But I'm actually curious to see if the Mandela catalog is actually named after the Mandela effect, because it isn't about a world, a universe in an alternate timeline, and I think the Mandela effect is believing things happened a different way because your memory tells you so, when actually they didn't. I already said different, so I can't say different again. Anyway, that file explained what Experiment 13 was, and what monstrosity. I say they're monstrosity, do you know the times? God darn it, everything has to be a Homestar reference. Nothing will leave unscathed. Chaos. I don't think so. You haven't known chaos till you met me, Buster. Oh, darn, but that means we can't use time freeze. But we can use a big frickin' flamethrower in your face. Yeah! Everybody knows me. My name Cornbread. Oh, it's Genza, and you must be Genza. This would be much more effective if the music stopped here, because this is a boss fight, and we are getting a villain introduction, but it's not quite as effective because the music didn't stop. So basically, Genza is like a corrupt scientist who justifies everything that he's doing because it's helping the Empire. Is that the Timespinner? Yeah, it is the Timespinner. So he's the one who stole it because he's like this insane evil scientist. He's like a stereotypical insane evil scientist, but like we don't hate him. But he can also shapeshift, and he just shapeshifted into our mom. Speaking of the Mandela catalog, he just shapeshifted into our mom. And so now it's the fight against our mom. Right? Selen is our mom, right? I like how there's just a big, like, rhino foot. Or maybe it's not a foot, it's like a jaw. It slightly reminds me of, like, the King K. Rool toenail fight from Donkey Kong 64. And again, everything in a video game has to remind me of another video game. But I cannot quite decide whether it's a foot or a jaw. It looks like a jaw, but the thing is it comes like stomping down on you, so I like to think it's a rhino foot. But it's probably just a giant, like, desiccated jaw. And there's my giant desiccated hammer, which I will bring down justice. I will bring down justice upon your heads. It will rain justice. So we can freeze time briefly. Freezing time is a nice... It's kind of game-breaking. They let us freeze time, and we can just kind of say, oh no, that's where the boss's attack is going to come from. Then again, the more you learn the boss, the less need you have for it. But you will soon realize that I am the one. I am the one you need. I'm the one who fulfills dreams. I declare myself a being. I become one with the unanimous entity that is Michael J. Rosencrantz and Associates. And he looks kind of defeated. He looks kind of sad. He is a... oh god. Because he's an anime scientist, he reminds me of... frickin' Finding Paradise, which is a game that I played last year, which was fun. It's the sequel to the Moon, right? Is it the sequel to the Moon? It's the sequel to something. And then the third one is called Imposter Factory. But I really liked Finding Paradise, so I'm going to have to play Imposter Factory soon. Although there's no instated rule that once you play the second game, you have to play the third game. Anyway, even this guy, who's like the most evil guy imaginable, doesn't like the demons. Which is sort of a thing, like, I believe that in fiction, like, people who are, like, scientists and, like, intelligent people who have, like, calculated their evil plans are, at some sort of deep level, more evil than people who are just evil out of sheer greed. Like, people who have, like, tasted too much power and become evil as a result. That's evil, but that's like a hot evil, and I believe a cold evil is scarier. And I don't know if that makes any sense. But I think there are several examples in real life. Anyway, that's not too important right now. This dude Eshem, he's still looking pretty sick, but at least he's lucid and conversational, which is better than... I don't know, I'm not gonna say anything. Back home, he wouldn't have looked at me. Oh, so it's the class thing. These two dudes are in love with each other, but, what's your type? Dudes! No, not the Instagram guy. It's kind of sad that he's like, oh, I can't be in love with this guy because he's a higher class than me. He knows how to use magic. And it's like, well, it's the whole Muggle versus Wizard debate all over again. Is it classism? Is it meritocracy? Is it jelly beans and heebie-jeebies and Chick-fil-A peppermint milkshakes? I don't know. But it could be T.S. Eliot. It could be William Wordsworth. It could be Jane Austen. It could be green bananas. It could be plantains. Oh, so I believe the food synthesizer that we found in the laboratory should help with this side quest, because he's looking for ways to, like, help this guy get better to health, and... Actually, that wasn't the food synthesizer. That was probably some medicine that we picked up along the way, but I forget where we did that, so it's not important. Yeah, it wasn't a great way of creating an empire. This whole war, I can't do it, not in good conscience. Banished here for opposing a despot, rebelling after he assassinated their leader? But they did turn to demons for help, they're not blameless. And so it's possible that the Amadeus' laboratory, it's possible that Amadeus was a demon, and that he was the one responsible for creating that whole sick laboratory where they experimented on, like, people and animals. Anyway, that's the end of this episode of Timespinner. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.